Greetings, Internet, America, and the world. I am Professor Haratio Hackenbush. I'm the alter ego, the other personality of one of your most beloved citizens. I find myself coming today to speak about a very serious issue. We come to talk about school shootings and guns. This is a very serious issue. Lots of horrible things are happening to good people, children, in fact. And none of us want anything horrible to happen to children. So the gun debate will begin to rage, and people will begin to bicker back and forth about the evils of guns and organizations that support guns and the politicians and the people who own guns and like guns and say guns are great. Guns are great. Guns have their uses. Guns are very purposeful in their nature. They are built and made to destroy and kill. That's what they do. There is no benevolent purpose for them. The justification for using a gun may be good, may be pure. Hunt for food, support to feed your family, feed yourself. Protect your loved ones from evildoers around the world, perhaps even a government entity. But the gun itself is not the problem. It never has been, it never will be the problem. The problem has always been the person wielding the gun. It is always the person. It is always the person. If it's a knife, it's always the person. If it's a stick or a rock, if it's a weapon, if it's a video that perhaps even influences people a certain way, though that's where the evil is. Adolf Hitler did not kill all those people with guns. He had people who had guns who killed all the people. Yes, of course. But Adolf Hitler killed all those people with his words, with his mind. That's where the weapons are. That's where the evil is. That's where the danger is. The danger is what is going on in society. It's going on with our culture. Our culture has begun to disrespect life, begun to disrespect one another on levels we have not seen since the early parts of America, the ugly parts of America. We have to change who we are and how we're doing things. I know you parents are doing the very best you can. I do not blame you for your children or your lack of parenting skills. Perhaps you are the problem. I can't be sure, but in every case, that is not necessarily going to be true. Perhaps it is a kid that a parent thought was just going through a rough patch and he ends up getting a gun and shooting up the school. It's because we don't respect life. We cannot seem to instill upon our children that life is sacred and that people are sacred and that taking a life is bad. Guns have this perception that they give us power, but the power has always been within us. And how are we going to change that? We have to change our whole culture. Our our addiction to materialism has gotten worse in the past decades. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The music has become shallow. A lot of it, not all of it, but some music has become shallow, and it perpetuates the idea of you only live once and you can do whatever you want. You just gotta do it for yourself, and it's okay to get really high and go out and treat people wrong. And look, that stuff is part of growing up, and that's another issue. We've delayed adulthood to the nth degree. There are people in their 20s and 30s still acting like teenagers, still grasping to teenage ideals. We all have similar ideals when we're teenagers, but as we age, they grow and they mature. Teenagers now are both, children now are being both having their childhood stretched out and diminished at the same time. There's so much to talk about, there's so much to do, but just remember, people are the problem. People are always the problem. Any issue or whatever it may be in this world is created, perpetrated, and perpetuated by people. Inanimate objects do not cause issues. They are not the danger. It is the people who have access to these things that are the problem. And it doesn't matter how much you restrict their access. If they are truly determined to do evil and to do harm, they will find a way. Sure, gun control might help. Sure, better screening processes. I don't think we need more laws. I think we need better screening processes. I think we need people to do what they're supposed to be doing already. Take care of one another. Watch out for one another. If you see something scary and dangerous, make sure you point it out to someone who can deal with it, or deal with it yourself. You should not be afraid to jump on a grenade. What are you? Some kind of wuss? Grow a pair. Save somebody. Help somebody. You see somebody getting harassed on the street. You see someone being racist to someone on the street. Call them out. Get in a fist fight. Sure, you might get your ass kicked, but at least that person knows that people are going to stand up. And the more people stand up, the more people say something, the more people show the ne'er-do-wells and the bad guys that we're not going to take it and that they're going to have a hard time, that the less likely they are to openly go out and try to perpetrate their crimes. Sure, they'll become more brazen, but we'll have to become more brazen in our response. We have to stop them ourselves. And how do you expect to do that? You expect the bad guys to give up their guns? No, never. That will never happen. And you know it. And so what do you want to do? Leave the general public defenseless? I hope to introduce myself to the world on a much more mundane, jovial, comical topic, but it's just too much. The world has gone mad. You think I'm mad because I wear a giant tinfoil hat and a tinfoil coat. But you people are truly insane. You have lost your way, and you have to find it. I can't do it for you. I can only help remind you that it's people. People are the problem. People are the solution. Take away all the inanimate objects you want. Take my ink pen. You're still not going to stop me. Ideas have power. People have power. A life has power. Guns only have power if we give it power. It's our perception that is the problem. So, alas, my dear public, I've spoken too long and rambled and probably incoherently and probably confused you more than I've helped you. But I sincerely hope that you remember. Don't be mad at one another. Be mad at the person who did it. The bad guy is the bad guy, not the people on the other side of an argument. It's all about the bad guys.